Dr. Izzy Justice, Chief Neuroscientist at Neuro580. Again, I want to thank the CDC in Atlanta for providing this platform to begin to talk about the role of neuroscience in our human experience, specifically in the work environment. I was very impressed when I heard that the way that the CDC views its employee interaction with each other, peer-to-peer, is very similar to how they want their employees to engage with external customers. I think it's brilliant to think of your peers as customers also. They too need to be extended the same level of courtesy and compassion and problem solving that an external customer deserves as well. So let's talk about talking about customer service. If you look at some of the statistics on customer service, the two or three over here that really stand out to me is that almost 90% of consumers out there say that they're willing to pay more for a better customer experience. 80% of them are also saying that they engage with a certain brand specifically for their better customer service. So there's something about being treated well that as consumers and as customers, we really love. If you go back to what I've been talking about in these last few videos, is that output from someone who is serving you is making you green. It's lowering your brain waves. The cognitive cost of good customer service is so low that people want to engage with you more. It's the same thing with peers that we work with. The more expensive cognitively it is for me to work with someone else, the less likely I'm going to want to work with them, number one. And then number two, the less access I'm going to have when I'm yellow or red to the best parts of my brain, my inventory that I can bring to bear to get to a good outcome. I want to share with you a different model over here. So think of the human brain as a laptop, right? And think of the similarities between a laptop and a brain. A laptop stores a lot of files. Your brain stores a lot of your inventory of your life's experiences, your training, the skills, all those things that you've experienced in your entire life. A laptop can create new content. You can use it to come up with new content. You can write something new. You can have a new image. Your brain also creates something. A laptop can solve a problem. So there are lots of similarities between a brain and a laptop. Now, I want to throw a proposition at you. What if I gave you a laptop and I said, this is the most sophisticated laptop in the entire universe. You are never going to need another one ever. It does everything. If you use this laptop, you will never need another one ever. There's just one little caveat with this laptop. And that is, if the laptop is in a very good mood, it's amazing. Oh, but if it's in a bad mood, it's going to work at about 5%. Would you take that laptop? I think most of us would not take that laptop. Yet if you think about it, that is the standard with which we have accepted ourselves and our peers. Meaning that we are all aware that somehow when we're in a good mood, so when we're in green, we perform better, we operate better, we ideate better, we problem solve better. And when we're not in a good mood, or someone that we're talking to is not in a good mood, or we do things that change the environment or the circumstances into a not so good one, suddenly we're not operating at our best, all right? So let's go now to skills. What are some very specific skills that you can use to help you to make sure that your operating system, this software that you have in your brain, is always operating at a very high level? The model that I want you to consider is a very simple one. It's called VNTV. This is an acronym for V stands for verbal, N for nonverbal behavior, T for tone, and V for volume. All communication, which is really the currency of the customer experience, it's the currency of communication, has these four components, right? The nonverbal tone and volume is in effect responsible for 90% of what the brain is responding to. In other words, when I'm looking at you and I see where your face are, I see your nonverbal, that input is taking up a lot more space in my brain than the actual words that are coming out of your mouth. Your words are going through my auditory system and I'm trying to make sense of them. But because my senses are always on alert, I'm actually watching you. I'm listening. What is the tone that you're having? What is the volume? Are you speaking softly or are you yelling or screaming at me? So all of communication has these 4 components. The NTV, your nonverbal, your tone and your volume, that is intent. Your verbal is your content, right? And intent will always trump content. So a very simple neurohack is as you're talking to somebody else, anybody, ask yourself, am I red, yellow, or green? Are they red, yellow, or green? If you're green, go ahead, keep going. If one of you begins to proceed to yellow, to red, which again is a circumstance of just human interaction, at that point, one of the easiest things for you to do is, what channel can I change? And you always want to start with intent. Can I change my nonverbal? Can I change my body position? Can I lean over? Can I sit down? Can I change the tone of my voice? Can I lower my hands? What can I do to communicate to that person that I care about you, that I'm not a threat to you? And that's all in the NTV channel. And then go with the verbal. The mistake that we often make, the sort of default factory setting of our brain, is if I'm saying something and I see that you don't get it, I change the verbal very quickly. I say the same thing in another way, and then in another way, and then in another way, all the while not recognizing that you are getting more and more into red. So, what is customer service? Customer service is you being green and the person that you're talking to being green. You are going to change every second based on the output of that person and the output that you're giving to that person, the content of what you're talking about. That's not a character flaw. That's just being human. Every second, our brain is going to change depending on what's being said or being done. So when you find yourself or somebody else going towards yellow, remind yourself, what channel do I need to change first? Arguably, the best piece of advice I can give you, is the first part to every problem you will ever have in your life is to get to green. Let me say that again. Any challenge that you have, whether it's with somebody else or yourself or something, if you get yourself to green first, it won't make the challenge go away. It won't make the problem go away. It'll simply increase your capacity to solve that problem. A green brain will think of something nice to say, will think of something that is relevant that can help them get to green, will think of an idea to solve the problem. Get yourself to green first, and a lot of the challenges will go away. Thank you.